So, in an effort to kind of continue to get comfortable on camera and hiking revolver, and continue to just get used to things and try things a little different, I've put on the old GoPro with the head mount system, and I'm going to go for a little hike here and just ramble to myself. Much of this probably won't even make it on the air, if any of it does. But it should be kind of fun. I don't like really hiking where other people are. I don't even like hiking with other people. So I do things kind of differently. I look for abandoned hiking trails or old logging trails and stuff like that. And I like to hike like that. I also like to hike and plank. And we'll talk about suppressors and this 22 and stuff a little bit along the way. I love suppressors. You know, especially for stuff like where I'm at right now is I can hike, plank. Nobody ever knows I'm even there. So it's pretty fantastic. Load that up. Safe. So we're going to do a bit of that. Put this away. This is just a climb. It's actually a snowmobiling backpack, but it really is a fantastic, hydration system, room for your revolver and stuff like that, some ammo. This is a fantastic little weapon holder. It's meant to hold tools while you're out snowmobiling and stuff, but I use it for motorcycling and hiking. And it works great. You can actually strap a full-sized AR-15 to this bag and carry it very comfortably. So it's a pretty good investment. I think they're only $70 or something like that. They're just fantastic quality. I'm wearing a Climb sweater. Pretty much everything I own of the outdoors is Climb, because they just make some of the best stuff in the world, as far as I'm concerned, at least. Climb gloves, mismatched, but whatever. So I like to kind of rag out and explore. Here's the adventure rig, KTM 950. Gets stuff done. Fantastic for exploring the back roads, the logging roads, stuff like that. And this is a little trail I found while just kind of poking around. I saw just a tiny little offshoot off the road and poked down it on the bike. And then there's a log down over here. I don't really feel the need to come and chop it out because this trail's only a couple miles long, so there's not really much point in riding the bike on it. And I just like, being quiet and discreet, and I really enjoy having the place to myself. We'll see lots of game sign on here. There's a lot of predator that looks like maybe an elk. Lots of game sign, lots of predator out here. I'm not sure which it is. I'm not the greatest predator tracker. You can see where all these pine needles have been disturbed somewhat recently. So I'm not sure if they're coyote or bobcat. I'd be inclined to say there's actually a couple bobcats around up here, or not bobcats, but mountain lions, sorry. There could be bobcats as well, for all I know. But a couple mountain lions and coyotes as well. There is a hiking trail about a mile down the hill there, and I haven't ever heard of any dogs being, harassed by coyotes or anything like that. So that kind of makes me inclined to think they're mountain lions. So, yeah, here we are. We're just hiking. Oh, and there are some bears up here, without a doubt, black bears. We're not quite wild enough for grizzly bears. Look at that elk. So, we'll talk a bit about the philosophy and this gun, at least. This is a Walther P22 with a Gemtech Outback 2 suppressor. I'm really happy with this. I really like suppressors in general. I have several. You probably won't see most of them, but I just really like it being quiet. You can comfortably shoot this gun. Not many others with no hearing protection whatsoever. Sounds kind of like a staple gun or something like that. Once you get into rifle rounds and things like that, it's not really possible to do that. You do have to have some minimal hearing protection. And but this is just a great little plinker. 22 ammo is scarce right now, so I'm kind of shooting some old stuff that I had laying around that's not been very running well through the gun. It's just kind of junker ammo. It's not cycling the entire way. Normally, with a suppressor on, this gun will cycle anything. They're kind of finicky without it, but the extra back pressure from the suppressor means it just cycles pretty much everything in the world. But this ammo I'm running is just so junky, it's not working half the time. So I'm kind of trying to shoot this ammo up. I don't have a... Here, you got some more elk. I don't have a big stockpile of 22. I've got maybe 500 rounds. And it's pretty much impossible to find right now. I bought one box of 50 the other day for $6, just CCI random, not even mini mags or anything like that, just standard rounds. And that's all they could sell me. And I was amazed to find any. Now I've got a normal gun store hookup that I usually go to, but it's hard for him to get ammo. Not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm not positive. If you know what that is, give me a shout. There's another one right there. Bear? Probably bear. It would be my guess. So, yeah, rambling and all that. Where was it? Oh, I've got a regular gun store who will, hook me up with a box when it comes in and stuff like that. And he's actually a great guy. He does all my suppressor sales and pretty much all my gun sales and stuff too. He's not interested in price gouging or anything like that, and he does, just a real stand-up guy who's got a decent shop, and he likes to help people. That's a AAA gun in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, but not a plug. I don't get anything for free from him or anything like that, but he's always been a stand-up guy to me. So the suppressor, like I said, the gun is a small frame. That can get a little tiring. You can see my pinky's just barely on the bottom there, but something wiggling around up there. But once you get used to it, it's actually very comfortable. I originally bought this for a ex of mine, and she learned to shoot on it and stuff like that. We ordered the suppressor at the same time, walked out with the gun. The suppressor came in 4 months later, I think. That was before suppressors got super popular. This was my first ever suppressor. The Outback 2 does not have removable baffles. Because, well, they just didn't do them at this time. What you can do is you can send it back to Gemtech for $200, and they will actually mill it open, or do whatever it is they do, and put in removable baffles for you for $200. And send it back to you. You don't have to do the paperwork or anything again. The body stays the same, so your serial number stays the same. I probably should blank that out when it comes to post-processing. But talk a little bit about owning a suppressor. Now, I don't know how many other owners actually do this, but technically I believe you're required to carry the paperwork with you. Wherever the suppressor goes, it has to be on your person or immediately accessible. So that is kind of one of the hassles of owning suppressors and owning any NFA firearms, even up to short barrel rifles, I believe. You have to, or shotguns, you have to carry that with you, and it's kind of a hassle to keep that with you. What I do is I just keep them in a plastic sack, a nice waterproof package, and I keep it in the backpack or whatever I'm going with, and just take them with me. I carry all of them together. Probably not the best idea, because if I lose one, I lose all of them, but that's how I do it, because I don't want to have to go through and sort and figure out which one belongs to which and all that. So we'll stop and take a few pot shots with it here. If I can find, there's a pine cone. We'll see how it runs today. Like I said, it's got cheap, ugly ammo. You can see it's got a little bit of discoloration on this. Stuff's probably sat in my garage for 5+ years. Just these were some random. I moved recently, and these are some random boxes that I rounded up, and I've been shooting them off just because they're junk. But the rifle, or not the rifle, but you see, it didn't quite cycle all the way, and it didn't seat. So now you can see I'm actually going to pull out my new box here, and we'll watch it cycle. See, that's how it should operate. And it's nice and quiet, you know. Anybody who's 100 yards away, well, they'll hear it, but they're not really going to have a clue as to what's going on. And that's how I like it. So, what we're going to do is bust out the other box here of new CCI mags and shoot those, not mags, but just standard velocity rounds. We've got 3 different boxes here, 2 junky ones, and then just, oh, they are stingers, okay. So we're going to shoot some CCI stingers. And these things will cycle. Of course, I took off without my knife. I am wearing gloves and full coverage, pretty much everything, because there are ticks out here. And I prefer not to get eaten by the little bloodsuckers, so I wear full coverage. Earlier in the spring this wasn't a problem, and on a nice day you could take a hike, but not today. And since this trail is kind of overgrown, you will run into them. So let's see what happens with a set of good CCI stingers. These are probably going to be significantly louder too. Yep. Those are actually hitting supersonic velocity out of a pistol, which was kind of surprising to me. Usually these things pretty much stay quiet and they don't hit that sort of velocity coming out of a pistol, even supersonic rounds. But I guess those velocitors have enough. Here's our target area. We did a pretty good job of blowing that pine cone apart, showing it who's boss. So we'll load back up here and keep walking. You can see there's been a rain the last couple days, and we've got big, well, not huge, but good sized elk sign here. I'd love to come up here and hunt sometime. There's just sign all over the place, but I don't think they come through very often. It's hard, so it'd be hard to catch them. I'm not an expert tracker or anything like that, so I could be wrong. They could come through every single day, but there is a watering hole up here that we'll cross that we'll probably see a lot more sign at. Yeah, I was up here last week and I didn't see there we go. See that moose? I think that was a moose, juvenile. I didn't get a really good look at him. I just caught him passing through the brush up there. I'm going to try and get a little bit better look at him. But I'm also going to try not to get charged by Mom if I see her. There he is. Yeah, that's a big moose. Not a juvenile, that's at least a yearling. There's a couple of them up there. Oh, maybe that, is moose track I've been seeing on this trail. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how to differentiate moose from elk. But there is definitely some big track down here, so like I said, I'm not the world's greatest tracker or anything. I'm just a scrub. I'm not a huge hunter. I hunt deer and occasionally the elk, but that's about it. So I'm just an enthusiast. Go ahead and put this sucker down again so we can see what we're doing. So that's kind of why I like coming out here. You're not going to find moose like that hanging around on a trail with a couple hundred people coming through every day. You know, you can see this is mostly just game. I think there's maybe one or two other people that hike on this. Not nearly as frequently as I do. One thing about having a suppressor is it's really hard to, I don't even think there are available any holsters for guns with suppressors on them. So while walking through the woods and using your suppressor is fantastic, and I highly recommend it, makes it hard to carry. So what I've found to do is, this is kind of the equivalent of stuffing a gun in your waistband, is I wear my Carhartts and I stick the suppressor down the cargo pocket and stick that right in there. It's pretty secure. If I fell down a mountain, I almost certainly lose it, but it's not going anywhere if I'm running or jogging or walking. And it's easily accessible, and that's about all I can ask for, really. You know, other than having to screw the suppressor off, stick it in your holster, screw the suppressor back on so you don't lose it, and then your weapon's locked into your holster, so you have to screw it off to get it back off, and it's just a mess that I prefer to avoid. Anyway, so I guess I should talk about what the plans are for the 1,000 yards for $1,000 and the 2,000 yards for $2,000. I'm relatively pleased with how the video kind of took off. I only promoted it on one place, and it's had quite a few views, a couple comments, quite a few subscribers, which I'm pretty happy about. It shows that there's reasonable amount of interest and that it's worth continuing to go through the effort of making videos and posting them. So that's nice. Comments about the scope and rings I like. I am aware that, that's interesting, I am aware that everything that the rifle is a good selection, but the scope and rings are not, but I'd like to challenge anybody else to do better for $100. We'll see. I might end up having to break my budget a little bit. You know, for $150, I could have a reasonable Cabela's scope or something along that lines. It's probably going to be a bit better, but I really want to stick to that $1,000 budget. So that's what I am going to do, if at all possible. The rings, I think I am just going to go ahead and after this hike go to Cabela's and see if I can't pick up a set of those loophole rifleman rings for 20 bucks. I think that'll be a solid improvement. You know, I'd love to have a big burly set of Burris rings or something on there, but like I said, I'm trying really hard to stick to my budget. If it ends up being a problem, you know, I will have to do something, but I think that the burly rings are probably a little overrated. You know, a good set of tightened down rings that are properly loctited and stuff like that have been working just fine on rifles for 100 years now. So we will go with that. The 2,000 yard project is kind of what I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, I don't have a place offhand where I'm going to be able to shoot 2,000 yards. Fortunately, I do have access to some farmland, and I might be able to go find myself a spot to do it. I think it's going to be pretty cool if for $2,000 we can go put together a rifle that can reasonably shoot a mile in distance. You know, it might not be that easy. We're going to probably get a SDF WASS scope on it. The new $700 one, or the classic ones, or whatever. I think that'll be a very solid selection for that. Might have to spend a bit more for a higher magnification level. I don't think, I haven't looked at their lineup recently, but I think the one I was looking at the other day was only 15x, and that might not be enough to cut the mustard. We're probably going to shoot at a, I don't know what size target is going to be acceptable at 2,000 yards. Not man size, probably. This rifle is just not going to have that minigun angle in it. But I think maybe moose size. We saw one of those. Moose size would be fun. It might end up being vehicle size. I don't think there really is a tight accuracy goal for that range because, well, it's just sort of silly. There's not a lot of people shooting 2,000 yard anythings, so we'll see what we can do. But in the process of building that 2,000 yard rifle, I think we're going to have a really nice 1,000 yard rifle at the end of it. So it will be the 1,000 yards for $1,000, but you can make it a really nice 1,000 yards for $2,000 rifle. So, but I've never shot 2,000 yards. I'm really not a big long range shooter. I've shot 1,000 yards before. It's fun, but like I said, I'm more of a hunter and hiker, and I have better ideas of what to do with my time and money than just go sit out at a range every Saturday. So there's that, but this should be a fun project. I'm really enjoying the rifle. There's a predator sign there, and we'll see what happens.